This is just format. So essentially what it's saying is, like, for example, if the cell is, if I uncheck this, then there's no trade in, therefore the trade in is 0. It turns into a blank. So does anybody know how to make it do that? So it's just called conditional formatting. It's just checking. So there's all kinds of condition. Is it this? Is it that? If it does end up being this, so there's different types of conditions, then format the way the cell is. So let me just give you an example of how that works, and I'll just go to a different cell. I pick a cell at random, and I'm just going to put in a number 7. Okay, so there's 7. So A is 0, because remember, this is saying these 4 cells have a conditional format that makes it blank if it's 0, just so we don't confuse the guy who's using this thing, right? So it's just about making it pretty. So if it's 7, it should be format. So how do I do conditional format? Well, you go up to the Home tab, and you see conditional formatting, right? Now, I think we've used it before. I don't know, did I not talk about conditional formatting before? If not, we'll do a little bit more on the next one, the next lecture too. But play around with this, and you can see, because it doesn't have to be just a cell. It could be a column of a whole bunch of cells. And notice, like here, for example, if I do this one, and click that, look at that. It's got a whole bunch of options. And it basically says, hey, highlight all the cells that have numbers greater than something, right? Or highlight all the cells with numbers that are less than something, right? So highlight a text that equals this, or highlight anything. So it's got these different options that are in there. Okay, so, and then there's even this. So the next one here, top and bottom rules, look at that. So if I were to grab a whole bunch of cells, and let's say you have lots of numbers, you know, like everybody's score in the previous quiz, you could say, give me the top 10, right? Just highlight it, some colors, so I can just quickly spot which ones are the top 10. So, you know, you can do different stuff. You look at that, above average. So it calculates the average of all the numbers, and then they'll highlight all the stuff that's above average. So this is just conditional formatting. Condition on what you're interested in, it will format it so you can see it. Okay. So, so what are some options? So what I'm going to do as a specific one, if you don't like any of these, top 10%, bottom 10%, or any of this stuff, you could create your own specific rule. So these are the pre-range, because it's kind of like a lot of people use these a lot, so that's already all set up. But instead of top rules, data bars, color scale, you should take a look at those. But I'll go to a new rule. Now it says select a rule type. Now I'm going to get messed up here. Let's select all cells based on their values. Format only cells that contain. Format only top or bottom rank values. Format only values that are above some average. Duplicates. So I'm going to do a format all cells based on their values. Well, the only cell I'm picking is that one, so it's not all the cells. But so I'm going to say pick that one. I'm going to say OK. Wait, did I screw it up already? I think I did. So manage rules. Okay. What the heck? Current head. Maybe it's format only cells that contain. That's it. Okay, it's the second one. Format only cells that contain. Now, what is it that I want to format? Notice this. There's a between. I don't want between. If I want it between, it basically says, hey, format all the cells, like basically highlight, show me all cells that have numbers between this and this. That's not what I'm interested in right now. I want to format it if it's got 0, right? Because I just want it to be 0. So I'm just going to look at this, and I'm going to notice that if I do a drop down, it says equal to. So you'll see a lot of other options. So I'm just going to do equal to, and then I'm just going to put 0. Okay? So that's my format. Format if I see a 0. Okay, what do I want to format? Well, I guess I better click the format part. So I've already set the rule. Anytime this cell is equal to 0, do something. So I'm going to go ahead and click the format. And now it's up to you to keep playing with this to work. There's different options. You could fill the whole cell, something. Like if I click fill, check this out. I could say, okay, I'll just make it black, make the pattern like this. Okay, so the color should be black, pattern should be this. Say okay, okay, apply. Okay, let me see if that works. So right now it's 7. If I make it 0, press enter. Well, that's not what we wanted, but yeah, that'll really freak them out. But you see what I'm saying? So that's what's going on here. If I had done that and these were all trade-in was off, it would turn black, right? So, but that's not what they did. They wanted it to just disappear. So let me go back to this one. I go back to conditional format. I'm going to manage the rule. Actually, and I'm going to edit it. Actually, I should clear it first. Usually it's easier. If you mess up, just do the following. Delete this rule. Okay. Now I'm going to do a new rule. I'm going back to this again. I'm going to make this equal to 0. 0. And I found this to be the easiest. So if I want to just blank it out and make it look blank, all I have to do is change the font color. Because right now the number 7 is dark. When it gets to 0, I don't want to see a 0 that's dark. So I just go over to the font. And how do I select the color?
It says color automatic on the down top.
Oh yeah, nice. And then, thank you. And then I just select the color to be white. Okay, so that's the background. So I'm just going to say okay. And then I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to apply it. Apply. And I close. So check it out. So right now if I put the number 9, enter, there's 9. If I put 1, it's 1. But if I put 0, it's there. I'll put 0. Okay, so let me click the cell. You can see 0's right here. It actually is, you just can't see it. 0's there. I just colored it white so it matches the background. Okay? So I think that's basically what's going on here. If you just click this, you see if you click that, you see it just, no trace, so these are all 0, so it just blanked it out. So conditional formatting, okay? So we'll do some more conditional formatting, hopefully, so you get the hang of it. I want you to try all kinds of usage, practice the conditional formatting so you don't freak out. But once you get the hang of it, it should be pretty quick during the quiz. Okay, so just make sure if you're kind of stuck, going over homework, I know you're last minute and stuff like that. Ideally, you've already been working on it. There's there's lab tomorrow from 10 to what, 2 or something? 10 to 12, 275. If it doesn't fit your schedule, you're working or something, take a look at the other office hours the IAs, the TAs have. You can contact them. They're also available with enough lead time to contact them to say, hey, I want to just meet on some other time, if it fits you. And worst comes to worst, because I have to, right after this